Joining us now this morning with a take on the results, Professor Stephen Caliendo from North Central College. Good
Hi.
morning. Thanks for being
How
here.
I look? Had a little nap.
You look pretty
Feeling all right? Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, had a little nap.
You know, as we move forward today, I think the most important part is how do we bring this country together with it more or less evenly split down the middle and such high disapproval ratings for both candidates. How do we heal wounds?
Yeah, and I think President-elect Trump is going to have a lot to do with that, but also I think Hillary Clinton's going to have a lot to do with that. She's going to have to speak to her supporters, and he will the same. He's going to have to realize what that transition from campaigning to governing will be. I mean, as the results were coming in last night and it became clear that he was going to win, his supporters are still chanting "lock her up," and so somehow we're going to have to figure out how to make that pivot and bring folks together.
What about reform of politics in the United States? When you look at this election from Hillary Clinton with Bernie Sanders and how that pretty much split the Democratic Party, Trump having not a lot of support from Republicans, even though he was running as a Republican this time. What do you think will happen now moving forward?
Yeah, both parties have a lot of soul searching to do because there are cleavages, deep cleavages. And the cleavages in the Republican Party did not begin with Donald Trump. We saw them sort of begin with the Tea Party in 2010, and they kind of got realized it in the way this new coalition that Donald Trump has put together. But the Democratic Party has some serious soul searching to do as well, because a lot of the folks that were energized about Bernie Sanders were not so energetic when he didn't win the primaries and didn't get behind Hillary Clinton to the same extent that normally happens after a tough-fought primary contest.
And let's talk policy really quickly. For his first 100 days in office, you know, he certainly campaigned on the idea of building a wall. What do you see actually happening?
Well, he's not going to build a wall in the first 100 days. I think that's the question. Is how the thing about campaign promises is you got to be held accountable for them. It doesn't mean that they all have to be done, but if they're not in 4 years, the voters who brought him in are going to ask questions about that. The problem with some of the policy proposals he put forward is they're not very realistic. Doesn't mean he can't get them done. Look, we got to stop second guessing Donald Trump. I think if we learned anything last night, we got to learn that. But you know, those manufacturing jobs that he promised to bring back to rural America, a lot of economists and labor experts think those jobs aren't coming back. There's no place for them. And so how is he going to deliver on those promises? We can build a wall. It's going to be very expensive. He says he's going to make Mexico pay for it, but there's not a clear path on how that's going to work. He's going to have some answers for that pretty soon.
All right, one more question.
Sure.
What about the pollsters? Obviously, we use them as a prediction, but this was just completely off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
of what would happen.
They're so right, and we should talk about that throughout the morning when we have a little bit more space. But I would say that, you know, not to be too flip about it, but the pollsters are going to have to think about what they're doing, and maybe this is the Trump's first jobs program, is that the pollsters are going to go down, but certainly there's going to be more political scientists who are going to have to make sense of this in the next decade.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. A lot to talk about.
I'm so glad you're here with us all morning, Professor.
Me too.
Yeah,
we need him here.
Let's go get some coffee, right?